So now where I wanted to go with the story of Elisha and Elijah about the mantle or the jacket that Elisha remained with when Elijah was caught up.
Was taken
by
the Spirit.
That time Elisha was already anointed and he was already called, because Elisha was called by the time when Elijah came to the field where Elisha was, and threw the mantle upon him. So now when Elijah left, on his way back, Elisha by the river Jordan, he took the mantle and then he said
he struck the
water, but he first called the God of Elijah. So now that's where some of our prophets are taking this thing. But I want you to understand that that time Elisha, the anointing was already upon him.
Right.
How do you want to know that Elisha was already a prophet? But from the time that he was
because we don't see where Elisha was being poured oil on top of
there is no oil. But see, when Elijah was trying to run away from Elisha, saying that God said I should go there, God said I should go there, the sons of the prophets kept on saying to him that, do you know that your master will be taken from you? But all the great prophets, they are the sons of the prophets. They were born prophets. And also Elijah the prophet, all of them did not know that Elisha knew already what was about to happen. They thought maybe Elisha was in the darkness. But God had already opened the eyes of Elisha, and then he knew what was going to happen. He knew that his master was about to be taken away. That's why he kept on following, so that he cannot lose what he's supposed to get. So my point in this is that Elisha, the calling was upon him already from the moment that he met Elijah. So they worked together, but the people only think maybe it was only the mantle that did the miracles. No, but it also has something to do with what was already in Elisha.
According to my understanding, when you look at Elisha and Elijah, these two prophets, because let's just call them, they are now prophets, because now prophets. Elijah has departed. Now we are left with Elisha. And Elisha is still performing miracles with the same mantle which Elijah was having. So if you can look at that, I don't really think that from the first point or from the first stage where we find that the anointing was already being transferred. In fact, it was already being transferred from the moment they've been together for a long time.
He was already a prophet.
So he was already a prophet, but his time was not yet at that time.
It was not his time to
It was not his time for him to do whatever that he was doing. So God was doing things. God was perfectly doing things in order. He knew very well that for this man to start to perform also miracles, we have to separate them. Remember, when you look at even in the Revelation, where they say we are now separating Paul and Silas, when they have been separated, this person was going to this direction and this person was going to this direction. So God was perfectly aligning his leaders in a unique way. So also there was no oil being poured, but it was just that God wanted to separate. He's giving that mantle to someone. So it is like a norm to God.
So that means the anointing that was upon Elisha, it was not the physical anointing oil.
It wasn't a physical anointing.
It was no anointing of the Spirit. Even the double portion that he asked for. It was not the anointing that was poured.
No. We didn't see who took the oil from
There's no oil
the horn. There was no oil that we pour on top of him. We only hear the eggs or what happened. What is transpired.
So that means you can still be anointed without you being having the oil that we buy from a shop like on your head.
Do you know? I've been reading from the book of Jeremiah. Do you know Jeremiah? Jeremiah was a priest. But if you look at
called by God.
But if you look at Jeremiah, it says, "Before I knew you."
Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5.
Yeah. Before I knew you, I've called you to be what? To be a prophet. But he was working as a priest.
You see? He was working as a priest, but he was called to be a prophet.
But he was called to be a prophet.
I ordained you to be a prophet.
I ordained you to be a prophet to the nation. But he was working as a priest. But in that priesthood, in that time when he was working as a priest, no one could knew that Jeremiah was a prophet. Which means there's no words that has been added from his mouth.